What's up guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective. I'm happy today because I've received a new Bleach statue to review and unbox for you guys, WS Studio Yamamoto. But before we get started, I do want to let you know that my statue came with a couple of breakages. So there were 3 of them in total, but luckily 2 of them were clean breaks that I was able to fix by myself. So the first break was Yamamoto himself. He came snapped in half at the waist, but that one was an easy fix. The second breakage I had was his captain's coat. One of the sleeves came popped off. That as well was a clean break, so I fixed that one as well. But the worst of them all was the fact that the building in the back came completely snapped in half. There are a bunch of shattered pieces within the box. Some of them too shattered to save, so that one was the most difficult to fix. Luckily, that piece doesn't have a ton of weight on top of it, so that fix should hold, fingers crossed. I do also own WS Studios' Toshiro piece. I absolutely love that one. I was lucky enough to receive a pristine piece, whereas I saw a lot of other collectors receiving a lot of damaged pieces. I really do think my luck ran out with that one. I just wanted to let you guys know that before we got started because you may notice some pieces that are missing on this statue. If you guys are interested in the glue I used to fix this statue, I've added that link in the description below. It's one I've seen people who fix resin statues for a living use, so I decided to give it a try and it really worked wonders on this statue. I just wanted to let you guys know about these breakages before we got started because you may notice a little extra battle damage on this statue. With that all said, as always, we'll kick things off showing close-ups of the pieces, then we'll assemble a statue, and then we'll do a showcase at the end. Anywho, let's get into the review. First off, here's the art box of the statue, so everything came in one box. You have the WS Studio logo on top and the artwork Yamamoto on the side. And here's the artwork that came with the statue. Also guys, take care when you cut open the box because they laid this at the top just underneath the cardboard. So your box cutter could cut it if you aren't careful. Just something to be aware of. So there are of course a lot of flame pieces that come with this statue. I'm only going to show you a couple of them up close so you can get a feel for what the painting on these pieces look like. So the first one is the ring of fire that goes up behind him, and this one adds even more of a dramatic effect to this statue. And here's a closer look at one of the flame pieces. So all of the flame pieces have been cast in a clear resin and are painted to look like fire, and they start inward with this deep red color, and as you get to the tops of them, they transition into oranges and yellows. I'm glad they added variance in terms of color to these pieces because this allows them to stand out more and gives them a more realistic look. This next flame piece is unique because it has a skeleton or corpse. The skeleton is so delicate and I'm amazed at how well they painted all of the small details on it. This makes the statue look even more menacing than it already does. Here's the larger skeleton head. This one pops out closer in the foreground. It has this crater in its skull and the paintwork is great on this one as well. This is his captain's haori. He normally wears this over his shoulders, but is placed on the statue as if it is gliding down after he's just thrown it off for battle. It keys in with a notch on the back into the roof of the 1st Division barracks, which you'll see in assembly. So this arm came sculpted separately. You can see a seam line with this option, but luckily it is hidden by the flame that attaches to his chest, so they hid this nicely. This is one display option, but there's also another. I'll show you both display options in the assembly. His Zanpakuto is made of die-cast metal, so it has a nice weight. It just slides in through his hand and rests there, but I love the look of it and the fact that it is engulfed by and wrapped in flames. Yamamoto's head sculpt is absolutely incredible. It's rather small, yet they managed to get so much detail here throughout. It looks just like him and the features are accurate down to the scars that cross on his head, and I really love that fierce expression in his eyes. Since he has an older appearance, they really could have overdone the wrinkles and aging of his face, but they did a great job in adding just enough to show those features. They also executed his mustache and his long white beard, which has this band crisscrossed down it really well. It's sculpted in a way that makes it look as if it's flying in the wind or by the force of those flames as he approaches forward. And here's his body sculpt. Yamamoto looks badass here. Despite his appearance, he is really muscular and extremely strong, which he really reveals when he gets serious in battle. They added the scar details on his body and the shading looks awesome and adds even more definition to his muscles, and the sculpt and the pose of his body looks awesome. All of these notches you'll see on his body sculpt are where some of the flames key into, which I'll show you guys in assembly. Then we get to his belt, which is cast in what seems to be a PVC, and it has some movement to it. They didn't use resin for this part, which I'm okay with because it seems like this piece in particular would have easily broken during shipment, so this was a good choice. They also did a great job with the drapes and folds on his pants, and they've added some texturing on them that looks nice as well. Lastly, we have the most massive piece of this statue, the base, which has so much sculpted on top of it. So the base itself is painted in this metallic red color, and there's a gold badge in its center with the 1st Division logo on it. Then atop it, you have these smoke clouds. The paintwork in these areas do get a little iffy at times, especially where they meet the rock on some occasions, and the rock painting also overflows on the smoke clouds at times, so just something to note. Not absolutely terrible, but these are just some small issues that I noticed in regards to the paintwork. You'll also have these pillars of rock that rise up from the ground, showing that Yamamoto just split it open. The sculpting of and the painting of the rocky earth look great. Then you have the 1st Division barracks, which Yamamoto stands upon. I love all of the cracks they added on the building and the roof, which looks great also. But mine, I will say, has a little bit more cracks on it because the building in the back is one of the pieces that came damaged in shipment. I guess this adds even more to the effect, but there were some areas that were shattered so bad I couldn't fix them, so it is missing some sections, which you may see in the showcase. I gotta admit, guys, that I was nervous to get this one because I also have WS Studios' Toshiro statue, and while I was lucky enough to have mine arrive unscathed, I saw a lot of people in groups receiving theirs with damages. Toshiro's also had some fit issues here and there, so that was another concern I had. With that said, I still love that piece and think that WS Studio does great work if they could figure out their shipping and breakage issues. Overall, the grandness of their Yamamoto statue and the powerful look to it and the fact that it shows his Bankai were reasons I had to have this one despite my concerns. Shipping-wise, I do think there's still room for improvement. They shipped the pieces in 2 different foam inserts, which are stacked together upon one another and held together with straps. Since they split up the pieces, it really helped prevent more damages from occurring, but the way they made some of the pieces made it so that they were easily breakable during shipment, so this is an area they definitely could improve on. Despite all the breakages I had though, I still can't believe how incredible this statue looks. While it is busy, it doesn't come across as overdone in any way because of the way the pieces are placed and how they flow together with one another. The way in which the flames are moving throughout the statue add movement and make it look dynamic with Yamamoto front and center. The expression on his face and the pose shows him ready for battle, and the massive resin flames that are swirling around him makes this one monstrous and impressive statue. WS Studios Yamamoto 1/8 scale statue, as far as look and concept goes, is one of my favorites so far. They do amazing work, so it really is a shame that they have a track record of having statues arrive with breakages. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Also, I have more statues from Bleach on the way this year, most notably Figurama's Ichigo vs Ulquiorra statue, so more unboxings from the series will be coming to the channel as soon as they arrive, and I also have one arriving next week, Prime 1 Studios Guts, so that review is coming shortly. Thanks so much for watching this unboxing review of WS Studios Yamamoto. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it because it really helps support the channel. I really appreciate all of your support so far, and I'll see you next time.